Hi, this is Deboki, and today I'm going to be doing the diversity awareness tag. This tag was originally posted by SamTheBookDragon, and I will post the link to her video below. I decided just for the hell of it that I wanted to do all of the find an example of questions based around the my comic book collection, the physical collection that I have. So I'm not including books that I might own on the Comixology app. So yeah, let's begin. So question number one, why does diversity matter to you? When I was little, I read a ton of books, and despite all of these characters that I was reading about, it was really hard to find Indian characters, and when I did find Indian characters, they were usually these subservient side characters who were just there to like literally serve the main character, who's usually this British person. These books are usually set during a time when the British had control of India. And I think that's a really weird thing to grow up with as a kid when, when you're looking for characters who you identify with in this really meaningful way and they're really just side characters who don't even have their own story. I think that's kind of sad. And now that I'm older and I have more of a vocabulary and I've learned more about, cultural appropriation, representation, these different ideas that impact how Indian people are portrayed in different forms of media, it's really important to me to expand the type of reading and TV watching and movie watching I do, not just to include Indian characters, but to include diversity of all kinds. Question number two, find a diverse author. Mark Andreyko, who wrote for Batwoman, is openly gay. Batwoman is a great character. She's part of the whole Gotham Batman family. She is lesbian. She has several relationships with women. She's just a really interesting character. She has a lot of darkness about her, but which I think is really interesting because it's told through a female darkness point of view instead of kind of your standard male angst point of view. The other, not a writer, but very important to comics, is the editor, and I wanted to highlight an editor who I really like. This is Sana Amanat. So she's edited Captain Marvel. This is written by Kelly Sue DeConnick. She's also edited a number of other books that I really enjoy, including another one that I'm going to mention later, Miss Marvel. She has a really great TED Talk about representation in books and what that means to her, what that meant to her, and I'll link to that video below. Question number three, find a diverse lead character. For this, I'm going to talk about a character who initially got me into comics, Miles Morales. When Miles Morales was initially introduced into the Marvel Universe, there was a lot of publicity around him being the Black Spider-Man, and listening to that was really what it was like for me, like, oh, maybe I should check this out, I should read his book a little bit. He was written by Brian Michael Bendis. He might still be writing him, I'm not sure. He's a lot of fun. He's got a lot of the kind of quippiness that you expect from a Spider-Man, but with a different background than Peter Parker, and I think that's really exciting. I would not complain at all if they somehow put him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, maybe. Question five, find a book where a diverse character is not a stereotype. For this one, I'm going in a slightly different diversity route. This is more about older women. So Velvet by Ed Brubaker features an older lady spy. It's pretty much centered around her getting dragged back into the spy game, where she gets to then do all the fun James Bondy badass kind of things that older ladies don't usually get to do in books or movies or TV shows. I think it's a really great series if you're looking for a different kind of spy series. This is a really good one to go for. Question number six, find a character you can identify with. This was really easy for me. Miss Marvel, written by G. Willow Wilson. This was the book that got me back into reading comic books, like really full force. The book is so good. The stories and the art are really amazing, but as far as identifying with a character goes, it's really hard to beat Miss Marvel. There are differences. She's Pakistani American and Muslim. I'm Indian American and my family is Hindu, so not everything is the same, but a lot of the ideas within the book are things that I can identify with. How she's dealing with her family, with her culture, they're very familiar to me, and it's really great to see it done so well. So question number seven, find a book with different diversities. Rat Queens. Rat Queens, when I first read it, I kind of described it as a Sailor Moon if Sailor Moon's crew were getting into bar fights and getting super messy all the time. As far as relationships go, there are several different types of relationships in the book that get at issues of gender and sexuality, and there is also an interracial relationship portrayed. Question number eight, find a book with a disabled character. So Hawkeye by Matt Fraction features Hawkeye, who has hearing issues. So Hawkeye is this character who's kind of more down on his luck. He's kind of like if Peter Parker were more dysfunctional and really couldn't get his adult life together. It tracks a lot more of like his home life and how he can't really even seem to be doing anything there right, but it's got so much humor, and there's actually a whole issue written in sign language, which is really, really good. I mean, every issue of this book is great, but that one's just amazing, so I highly recommend this series. Question number 9, find a book with an LGBTQIA character. So Batgirl by Gail Simone features a trans character. So Barbara Gordon, her roommate, is Alicia, is trans, and in general I love everything that Gail Simone writes. I think she's really committed to diversity. She talks about it on Tumblr and Twitter a lot, and you can see it throughout her books, so I recommend everything that she writes pretty much. Her Birds of Prey run was really awesome. She's writing a series now called Clean Room, which is kind of terrifying but also really great. So yeah, I think if you're looking for an author who's really, really committed to diversity, she's the one who I would go to. Question number 10, reflection. How hard was it to find books? I initially thought it was going to be harder, mostly because I didn't remember what books I owned. My comic books have been sitting in a box, and I have not looked at them in a while, so I did not know what was in there, but luckily most of the questions were not too hard to do. The one that was hardest was actually finding a diverse author. I was looking initially in terms of racial diversity, and apparently I read a lot of white comic book writers. I think a lot of that is probably my fault, but I think the comic book industry is also starting to work harder at bringing in more racial diversity. Some of the examples that I can think of are Marjorie M. Liu and Ta-Nehisi Coates. Marjorie M. Liu is writing Monstrous, which is a really cool book, and Ta-Nehisi Coates is this really prominent black writer who took over Black Panther, which is also hopefully gaining a lot of traction because of the Captain America movie. So I'm excited when I kind of go for my next round of comic book reading to bring more non-white writers into my reading list. So let me know what you think. Please, if you want to do this video, you should absolutely do it. It was a really good exercise for me to kind of think about what I've been reading, and again, to sift through that box that I haven't even looked at. So, bye!